It was just after 6 a.m. when Jordan Hayes unlocked the rusty garage doors of Hayes Auto Repair. The morning air was cold, biting through his worn-out jacket as he tugged it closer. His hands, tough from years of wrenching bolts and lifting hoods, trembled slightly, not from the chill, but from the weight of the past few months. Business had slowed, bills had piled up, and he was down to his last $500. He kept that cash stashed in a tin under the counter, his emergency fund, the last thing between him and shutting this place down. Jordan was proud, not foolishly so, but proud in the way of someone who built a life with his bare hands. This garage had been his father's and grandfather's before him. He'd grown up under the smell of grease and metal, the hum of engines, and the sound of laughter from customers who trusted the Hayes name. But times were changing. People were trading loyalty for convenience, big chain shops, flashy service centers. His kind of honest, old-school service was fading like the paint on the garage door. He sighed, flipping on the lights, the flickering bulbs casting long shadows across the concrete floor. He tried to shake off the hopelessness that had been following him around like a stubborn oil stain. Another day, another prayer whispered under his breath. It was barely 7:30 when the bell above the garage door chimed, and Jordan looked up from under the hood of an old Buick. A woman stood hesitantly at the entrance, clutching a handbag like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. Her clothes were smart but disheveled, her heels scuffed, and her dark hair slightly windblown. But what struck Jordan the most was the look in her eyes, shame, panic, and desperation. "Hi," she said, her voice cracking. "My car broke down just outside town. I don't know what happened. I don't know anything about cars." Jordan wiped his hands on a rag and approached, offering a kind smile. "Don't worry. You came to the right place. Let's go take a look." As they drove to the edge of town in his beat-up tow truck, she told him her name was Emily. She was heading to an important meeting, but her GPS had rerouted her through this small town after a highway closure. "Everything went wrong," she muttered, staring out the window. "First the rental car dies, then I lose signal, then I get laughed at the gas station for asking for help. No one would even look at me." Jordan clenched the steering wheel tighter. He hated that kind of thing, people kicking someone when they were down. "Well," he said, "not everyone's like that." He towed the car back to the garage and quickly got to work. It didn't take long to figure it out, the fuel pump was shot. "It's a rental, so it probably wasn't taken care of before you got it," he explained. "I can fix it, but the part's not cheap, and it'll take a few hours." Emily looked devastated. "I don't have that kind of money right now. I left my wallet at the last rest stop. I didn't realize until it was too late. I have my phone but no service, and I have to be at that meeting by noon. I can't miss it. This opportunity, it's everything I've worked for." Jordan hesitated. He could feel that $500 burning in his pocket. The safe thing would be to say sorry, wish her luck, and go back to struggling with the Buick. But something about her, the raw panic, the quiet dignity, made him pause. "Don't worry about the money," he said. "I'll cover it." Emily blinked, stunned. "What?" "I'll take care of the part and get you on your way. You can pay me back if you want later, or not. Just don't miss your meeting." Tears welled in her eyes, but she blinked them back. "You do that, for a stranger?" Jordan shrugged, trying to play it cool even as his heart pounded with the weight of what he was doing. "Call it an old habit. My dad used to say, if you've got enough to help, you've got enough. Besides, you look like you could use a break." Emily reached out, touching his grease-stained hand gently. "Thank you. I don't even know how to say it, but thank you." He got her car running just before noon. She changed in the garage bathroom, transforming from a panicked traveler into a composed professional in a navy blue suit. As she slid into the driver's seat, she turned to Jordan. "I won't forget this," she said. "You didn't just fix my car, you saved me." Jordan smiled and watched her drive away, a gnawing emptiness replacing the cash in his safe. He didn't know how long he could keep the shop running now, but strangely, he didn't feel regret. It felt good to help. Really help. Days passed. Then a week. Business remained slow. He was patching together what he could, but the reality was sinking in, he might have to close for good. Then, on a gray Thursday morning, a sleek black SUV pulled up in front of the garage. Jordan looked up from under a Mustang hood, surprised. Out stepped Emily, dressed again in that same navy blue suit, but now with a presence, a confidence that lit up the dull morning. "Emily?" he asked, wiping his hands. She smiled. "I told you I wouldn't forget." Behind her, another car pulled up. Then a third. Men and women in business attire climbed out, all heading toward him. "What's going on?" Jordan asked, overwhelmed. Emily turned to him, her eyes sparkling. "Jordan, that meeting I was rushing to, it was for the executive board of my company. Or rather, the company I now own. My father passed a few years ago and left the business in my hands. I was stepping in as CEO that day. The meeting was to announce my leadership to the board and start a company-wide tour." Jordan blinked. "Wait, what kind of company?" Emily grinned. "AutoWorks Incorporated. We own over 300 service centers and dealerships nationwide." He stared. "You own AutoWorks?" She nodded. "I've been working quietly behind the scenes, learning everything I could. But I didn't grow up with money. I know how hard people work to get by. That day, you showed me what integrity looks like, not because you knew who I was, but because you didn't. You helped because it was the right thing to do." Jordan's heart thudded in his chest as Emily stepped aside and waved at the team behind her. "Jordan Hayes, I'd like to offer you a partnership. We're launching a new pilot program, community-focused service centers that bring back old-fashioned values. Your shop will be the first. Fully funded. Fully supported. And we want you to lead the way." He couldn't speak. Couldn't move. The garage that had been dying only days ago was now surrounded by possibility. Emily walked up to him, her voice softer now. "You used your last $500 to help me. Now let us help you rebuild what matters." Tears welled in Jordan's eyes, and this time he didn't hold them back. He reached out, grasped her hand, and held it tightly. "Thank you," he whispered. "Thank you for coming back." She smiled. "You didn't just fix my car, Jordan. You reminded me of what this business should stand for. And I plan to build something around that spirit, with you." As her team began taking measurements, photos, and planning logistics, Jordan stood back and looked at the place he loved, the cracked floors, the faded sign, the worn-out tools, and saw it through new eyes. This shop had been saved not by a miracle, but by a moment of kindness. A decision made not out of strategy, but heart. And that heart had changed everything.